Yo, Bachi 2007 back at you with another one. We're going to let this chick rock out and see why she's so pressed about this date that she went on. And I want y'all to listen carefully to everything she says and really take it in and understand it. But coming through the door, y'all need to go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and like us up, subscribe, notification bell. This is going to be a good one. You're going to enjoy it. So go ahead and get the like done. We're going to let her go for a little bit and then we'll come back with some commentary.
Started speaking by phone. We've been talking for a week. We decided that we were going to go to a cafe today. And originally, he wanted to go to a coffee spot. I'm not big on coffee. So he did the cafe. We get there. I get there first. And there's a wait. I put our name on there, but it was like a 45-minute wait. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to just be awkwardly sitting or standing here with him. And, kind of defeats the purpose of sitting down and kind of getting to know each other at a table. So we go to the restaurant next door and we get a table. He orders a coffee. I order a water. And then the waitress comes up and says, "Do you guys want anything?" He said, "Oh, I already ate prior, but I hadn't eaten, so I needed something to eat." So I ordered myself a sandwich and, it took a little bit, but then the food comes. And prior to that, he'd been talking about all his cars. He just got a Lamborghini. He showed me the picture of the car. You know how when people deposit money into your accounts, you get the text message. So he just got $200,000 deposited into his checkings. Great for you. Nice to see. Whatever. Good. I don't really care. Good. Great. Whatever. So he's talking about all of this stuff. And it's okay. Like, people like to speak about the things they have and the things they do. And that's great. I mean, I'm not big on that. So, but I don't mind. We're here. I'm getting to know you. So I'm eating my food and he's like, "Oh, those smell great." I was like, "Would you like a fry?" So now he's eating the fries with me. And I'm fine with that because I'm like, sometimes when you see somebody else get food, you tend to get hungry. So I'm like, okay, he's fucking hungry. But now he's eating most of my fries. And I'm like, okay, would you like half of my sandwich? He said no stuff. So I asked him, does he want half of my sandwich? He said, "No, I'm not that hungry." But yeah, you're eating all my fries. So, okay. So the lady comes, and at this point, I'm like, I'm just kind of ready to go. So I asked her for a box and I asked for the check. So the check was placed in front of me and the box was placed in front of him. So he grabs the check and hands me the box. So I put my food in there and I said, "How would you like to do this? Would you like to split it?" I didn't know how much the bill was, but I was like, this is our first time meeting. I feel like, let me just be kind. Like, I would do it for anybody anyways, but still. He goes, "Oh, no, no, no. I'll just pay for my coffee." His coffee was $4 and he gave me five. So I look at the bill. The bill was $20.50. Mind you, when he pulled out all five ones, he also took out a $20 bill and gracefully put that motherfucker back in his wallet. And that's fine. He didn't even pay for the fucking tip.
Yes, he did. He paid for the tip. You said his coffee was $4. He gave you $5. That's a 20% tip. What are you talking about, lady? He paid for his tip. He didn't pay for your tip because you're a strong, independent woman and you don't need no man. You got your own everything and you can take care of the tip. Or you could go ask the bear for it because you prefer the bear. So you should ask your preference for the other dollar. But he took care of his end like he was supposed to. It's wicked how pressed this woman is over this little bit of money. They're all getting to the bag, but this little bit of money has got her really pressed. And that's because it's all about money to begin with. It's not about meeting a human being. It's not about connecting with the person. It's not about building something with the man. It's all about how she can benefit and get over from the interaction with the man. That's what it all is. It's all an interaction. And let's go to her words and really see and understand that from the get go. Somehow, to get to know each other, you need to be sitting at a table. Why? Because that's where food can be ordered and a man can spend money on you. Somehow you can't get to know each other sitting in the waiting room and talking. You have to be at a dinner table. How is it any different to sit in the waiting room and talk, or to stand in the waiting room and talk, or to walk around as people will often do I'll walk around the neighborhood of a restaurant while we're waiting, particularly if you have if you have one of those things they give you that are going to light up to tell you when to come back. How can how is it that you can't talk and get to know each other just the same without a table, food, drinks, and money being spent? That's absurd. But she made a point that you need to be sitting at a table because what again happens at the table, that's the opportunity for a man to spend money on her and for her to feel self-aggrandized by feeling important enough to have a man spend on her. She's trying to play his money off as if it's nothing. She says that she didn't care anything about his $200,000. Yeah, right. I don't care anything about that. You see what these women what you're always getting is a woman diminishing a man's accomplishments no matter how accomplished he is. It doesn't matter what it is that a man has or does. Somehow it's always some nothing. Remember that lady who jumped up and down about how men weren't coming to brunch? And then when the men clapped back that, why would we come to brunch? You call us creeps. Y'all don't want us around. It's when we do show up to an event with women, that we come to a woman's birthday dinner. All the women at the table think I'm supposed to pay for her just because I'm a man and they're females and they deserve. They're not my dates. It's 12, 15 women at this table, and the 2 or 3 men are supposed to pay for all of them just cause. So why would we come to brunch for that kind of crap? And the woman comes back talking about, we don't want y'all little money anyway. It's always a diminishment. Little money. I don't care nothing about his money, but yet she's pressed. She's so pressed over this $15 he didn't pay for the rest of the bill. It's $15, lady. It's your meal that you ate. Why does he need to pay for it? Why does he need to split the bill in half? He doesn't need to do anything. He paid for his drink that he ordered and gave a very generous $20, 20% tip. Then furthermore, as we get into it, she's pressed over these fries that he's eating. Like she's really pressed over all this little bit of nothing. $15. I guess the fries was $6. He ate he ate most of my fries. I guess he ate $4 of her $6 fries. Maybe he should have paid her for. He should have gave her another $4 so she could not be so pressed and hurt. But what it really is that she recognizes that this man didn't find her important enough to spend money on because she knows he has the money. She named all of his cars. She still has that on her mind. And the fact that he showed her he had money but wouldn't spend it on her, that hurt her. We're going to talk about why he wouldn't spend that money on her a little bit later. Let's get back to her discussion of the situation.
I was so pissed when I saw that the bill was $20.50 that the lady, our waitress, she ended up getting, I gave her $30 on top of his $4, or excuse me, $5, because I said, wow, he couldn't even pay $20.50, but you could brag about having 200K just being deposited, showing me your Lamborghini, your Tesla, your Mazda, your 2022 Bentley. I really felt bad about myself because I'm like, damn, this nigga really didn't want to pay $20 for a bill. I have gone on dates with men who turned out to be bums and they've paid the full tab. And you're bragging the whole date about everything that you have, and you couldn't pay $20.50. I was a fucking cheap date at that. Didn't even get I have been applying for Love is Blind, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and I haven't gotten a response yet. And I am begging at this point for somebody to open my damn application. It even says I don't want to date in my area. Look at how this date went. My bill was $20.50. And I managed to go on a date with a guy who gave me $5 towards the bill and didn't even put money towards the tip. You could have gave me the fucking 50 cents. I am so upset. I'm like livid. And then he had the audacity to say, can I walk you to your car? I'd rather be walked by a stranger. Lord Jesus. If y'all don't open my application, my name is Gabrielle Basili. I am trying to get on one of these shows. I need to be something because look at, I'm not going on another date. I'm done. Like this is sickening. I just can't. This is sickening.
I told you she's hurt. You hear her say, I felt so bad that he wouldn't even give me $20. And then she's talking about she she gave the waitress $30 as some kind of way for her to show, hey, you wouldn't even spend 20, so or you wouldn't pay the tip, even though again, he paid his tip at a great 20%. She was talking about no, he wouldn't even pay the tip or whatever. So I just gave her $30, even though the bill was only $20.50. So you gave her an extra $9.50 on a $20 bill. So basically, you gave a 50% tip. Again, women in money management. So if you go out and this is how you tip all the time, um, then you're giving 50%. You're paying an extra $5 or $6 in tips than what you really should. Then what you're doing every time you go out, and I'm sure this is somebody who goes out and at least picks up food, if not sits down to eat on a regular basis, you're probably spending an extra 18, 20, $25 a week on extra tips beyond what's reasonable, beyond the 18 or 20%. You're spending an extra $25 a month, which is an extra extra $25 a week, which is an extra 80, $100 a month. That could be going into an IRA or an investment account or something that's going to grow money with interest. That's where that money should be going. But you throw it away because you thought you were doing big things to show this man with Lamborghinis and Maseratis that you could pay an extra $6 in tips instead of the $3 or $4 you should have given. You thought you did something. Oh, look, I gave $30. I'm big time now. And then she's out there begging, begging for dating shows. Literally said the word begging for dating shows to take her. They don't even. Not only don't men want her, not only don't, not only don't men of value even want to spend a measly $20 on her. These dating shows don't want her either. You don't qualify. You ain't it. She don't understand that she's not doing it for nobody, and she has to beg for some attention. She has to beg to be thought of as important. That's what she wants. She wants somebody to see her with some kind of value that she thinks she has, but she doesn't realize she's not bringing that value to the market. And but women don't want to talk about this. They don't even want to have the discussion about what they bring to the table. So they can't even learn what's valuable. But again, we showed from the beginning what her mind state was. Her mind state is about money and what she could get, not about building with the person. Let's listen to her some more.
So I wanted to talk about my video from yesterday about my very bad date. But then there were certain things that he was saying that was questionable. And that's why, if I'm going on a date with somebody, and this is where I knew something was wrong, and you eat before the date, I was always told never eat before a date because it says a lot. It was a statement right in itself. So that was stuck there. The showing me the money thing, that was stuck there. The now the new cars, that was stuck there. So there was a lot of different things that was stuck. And I'm just like, okay, I'm about to be paying for my own bill, or I'm about to be paying half. I mean, and I would be shocked if he paid the whole thing. And I should have left then. But I was like, our conversation was good. We are very different people. Don't get me wrong, we are very different people. But I always look outside of that because sometimes opposites attract, and he could have been my person. Again, like I said, this could have been my person, but he was not my person. But I was trying to see outside of everything he was saying because I don't look into materialistic things.
She's such a fraud. All she cares about is materialistic. Again, the very first thing she talked about, the very top of the video, she didn't want to sit and wait for dinner at the one place because she needed to be seated down at the table so money could be spent on her. She couldn't get to know him, talking to him, sitting in front of him, unless it was at a dinner table where he could spend money on her. This whole thing is her being butthurt that he didn't find her worthy to spend $20 on her. And the reason why she stuck out, listen to what she's saying. She's not saying there's anything wrong about this man. She's not saying there's actually, she's calling it the date from hell, but she has not said one thing that was problematic about the date. She has not said one thing that she didn't enjoy about the date. She said specifically she enjoyed the conversation, which was the date, basically. Only thing she has a problem with was how it ended, where it didn't end with her getting over in the transaction. The actual date she enjoyed, but she's calling it the date from hell. Why? Because she didn't get the money. And the reason why she was sticking around, even though they're very different people, and she says, this could have been my person. Either she already said it or she's going to say it later. The reason why she thought he could have been her person, because she thought she could get that lifestyle from getting with him. If she stuck it out, even though he's different than what she normally likes, she liked the fact that he had the Lambo and the Maserati and the 200K dropped off in the bank. She wanted to be a part of his life, and she's hurt that he didn't see anything in her.
We are to associate with. Unless, I mean, that's your type. Who the fuck am I don't know. But all I wanted to say was he did reach out, and he wrote me yesterday at 1:09 p.m. and he said, "I had a lot of fun hanging with you. We should do it again sometime soon." And I had to sit around and think to myself because I didn't really know what I wanted to respond, because the date was definitely different. I'm not going to talk about like his conversation, or we are two different walks of life, and I don't like a lot of the stuff that he likes, and he's into definitely a lot of different things. But I was keeping it kind, but also letting him know that we would never go on a date again. And I replied at 6:48 p.m. "Hey, I'm sorry for the late response, but I'm going to have to pass. I did have a great time with you, but for future reference, if you invite a girl out for brunch, you should 100% pay or split the bill down the middle. But that's my opinion. The bill was $20.50, and 50 cents, and you put down $4 or $5 to pay for your coffee. It's not about the money, as I paid for myself, but I invited you, and I would have paid for you, as that's common courtesy." And he replied, "All G, I understand. I don't know what that means at all, but that's what he replied." And then this morning, during our date, we did discuss social media. He said he needs to be more active on there. And I said, I'm really trying to figure out TikTok. I know that you have to do the hashtags or whatever and try to get more followers, but I'm not really good on it. But I've been trying to post more. So, not thinking that my video would do well. And this morning at 9:53, which I thought was very weird, and I had blocked him on every social media, but I don't have him on TikTok. But apparently, I'm guessing when you're strolling, you can see someone's TikTok. But I don't care that he's seen it. And it said that TikTok blew up. Was sick. Congrats. I told you yesterday you only need one to blow up, right? Question mark. Jackpot.
Bam, there it is. He didn't even care that she did the video talking about him being the worst date. He don't feel no kind of way about it. He's actually happy for her that she blew up on TikTok talking about it, because he's totally disinterested in her. He came back. This is the whole thing. This is what he was doing. It was all a test. He was testing her and she just didn't know it, and she didn't pass. She failed miserably. He wanted to see if she would still be cool and still be down with him, even though he didn't blow a bank on her, even though he didn't put any money up, that they could just go out, have a meal together, pay for their own end, get to know each other for a first date. And he was probably ready to take her out to Ruth Chris or something on their second date. He was calling her back, he was texting her about going on the second time. She says it was a good date. She only called it the date from hell because he wouldn't pay for it. She said they had good conversation. It was all good. He said he enjoyed the time. They both enjoyed their date. So he was ready to go on the second date with her if she passed the test of being cool about going Dutch on the first date. So he asked her back out. She gives her that little gives him the stupid message about why she's not going out with him again. OG, it's probably oh God. He's basically like rolling his eyes like, oh my goodness. I understand. That's perfectly fine. But then when he sees her TikTok, he's not pressed about it. He's not upset about it. He doesn't care. He was done with her because she didn't pass the test anyway. So he's just like, hey, I'm glad you got some bank off of it, or that you got you some clout off of me, because at least you can get something out of it, because that's what you wanted. You want to be a TikTok star. Go try to do that, and good luck. I don't want you anyway. You were about to get a good second date, but you couldn't see what it was because you're too focused on getting over every date every interaction with a man being a transaction and being a transaction that you're trying to win. And that's the whole of the issue. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here with that. Yobachi 2007. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can come back for more. We're going to stay on ahead. We're going to stay on these topics. As Modern Dating Saga might be a new series here, and we're going to keep getting at it. Yobachi 2007. I'm out.